Hi, this is John. Welcome back. Today I'm pleased to introduce the brand new version of Adobe Premiere Elements 2025. And the exciting thing is that this is based on Adobe's Pro app. The underlying coding comes straight from that application. So it bodes well, I think, for the future of enhancements going forward. Obviously, Adobe is not going to give us all of the Pro Tools, but we have some very nice features in this brand new application. You can see I'm in the advanced mode, and on the left-hand panel here we have means of bringing in our footage from files and folders or cameras, and also for using titles and music and graphics. On the right hand side we have our editing tools, including the new Lumetri Color Panel, together with effects and transitions. So I thought I'd make this video for beginners, just to give you a grip on how to get around the application. So I'll be sort of showing you my setup, because what we can do with this version is we can use panels and rearrange them how we want them by having them docked or undocked or floating. If you have a large monitor, you may want to use floating panels. I prefer to have them docked on my laptop, which is what I'm using now to make this video. So let's bring in some footage, and we click on this plus icon here, and that opens the Add Media. And as you can see, we can bring in from Organizer, from folders on our computer, or we have this brand new media browser. I'll go back to that in a second. We can also bring in from cameras and devices, etc. So the new media browser is what I really like, because it lets us drill down into our folder tree on our computer, and it has some advantages over just bringing from the folders. For example, you could scrub through the video using left and right mouse features to see exactly what you're bringing in if you're not quite sure based on the file names. You can also right-click and bring straight into the source monitor. The source monitor is probably new to most people using previous versions of Premiere Elements, but it's basically your cutting room, and it allows you to set in and out points. And then when you bring the footage into the timeline by dragging from the project assets, it only brings in the marked portion. So this is how we bring in our footage. I'm going to just select 3 of these family clips by holding down the Control key. These are ones taken at Christmas. And I'm going to right click and choose Import. And as you can see, it opens up the project assets and brings them in. We can close this at any time, and we get the full length then of the timeline and the project monitor. The window menu lets us select the various panels, and I'm going to actually open the source monitor, because what I like to do is I like to have this docked with the program monitor, and I can use it on a tabbed basis and switch between the various tabs quite quickly. Now if I hover near the top of the blue line, you can see the cursor changes to like a little arrow with a square, and I can drag this into the project monitor, and you can see I get this sort of purple change of colour, and I just release the mouse to drop it. And you can see I now have the project monitor, program monitor, and the source monitor docked together, and I can switch between the two quite easily. So if I go back to the project assets, I can insert these to the timeline, or I can go straight to the project source monitor. If I double click on a clip in the project assets, it opens it up in the source monitor. So in the project monitor, I can set the in and out point like that, and you can see the portion to be used is marked as such. I can then double click on the next one, brings it into the source monitor. I'll start this one from the beginning and just move this playhead. The playhead works independently from the timeline, so you can just use this really as your cutting room and mark the pieces that you want to bring in. And again, on this third one here, we'll start somewhere like this, mark the in points. bit more and mark the out point, and I think I have sufficient footage there now. Now I can select all three by using Command A on the Mac or Control A on the PC, and we have this overwrite shortcut key, which is the comma. If I press the comma, that puts all the trimmed videos into the timeline. So note, it's not putting in the entire videos, it's putting in the trimmed videos as marked in the source monitor. So I can close down that, and I can now go to the main interface, which is the program monitor. And you can see the I've turned off the audio for the purpose of this, and you can see I've just got the main bits here that I want, having trimmed the videos in the source monitor. And the source monitor is very good. You can use it as a cutting room or as your storyboard for picking out the best parts of your videos, and they become trimmed videos in the project assets. So I'm just going to stop that and put that back to the beginning, clicking a few times. One of the things you can also do in the project assets, which is quite useful, is to use this new item menu, and one of them is the adjustment layer, and it creates this new adjustment layer icon in the project assets. And if I drag it to video 2, it will appear on that track, and I can drag it out to the end of the videos, and any changes or edits that I make to the adjustment layer will apply to all of those clips, all of those 3 clips on the layer below. So if I go to the edits, close this down on the left and go to the edit menu on the right, I can select this adjustment layer, and it starts to open up the color correction tools in the adjustment panel. These videos were shot under tungsten lighting, and they're a little bit color cast, so I can actually try and cool it down by moving this slider to the left. I can actually go even further than 100 by just scrubbing with the mouse, and just bear with me. There we go, and that's cooled it down a little bit, and it will actually have cooled down all three clips. So the adjustment layer is a good way to get consistency across a bunch of clips, because we're applying the adjustments to the adjustment layer. We may want to increase the exposure slightly just to bring in a bit more brightness, and I think that looks much better than the original color cast. One other thing I can do is to right click on this next clip and choose properties, and that brings up another panel. And again, this is one I can dock. It has some useful information about each clip, including the file path, which you can find quite useful when you're looking around the bits and pieces to make up your video. And again, if I hover near the blue line, I get this little pointed arrow in a square, and I can drag it into the program monitor as before and drop. So now I have 3 tabs. I have a program monitor, source, and properties. And under the window menu, we have another panel for events, and this is quite useful for tracking errors. So again, I'm going to hover by the blue line and drag into the project monitor. So I've now got program monitor, source monitor, properties, and events. And that's my kind of standard setup. Events are usually helpful if you get an error message. Sometimes you get like a bottom right, a little error icon clicking up. It's usually associated with third-party plugins, and it can help you to track down exactly what's going on if you do get an error. So let's turn to the other panels, or the other tools in the left-hand panel. We've already looked at Add Media and Project Assets, so the next one is Titles. And you can see we have these built-in templates to use, and it's just a question of dragging and dropping onto the video 2 track. And we also have some built-in Adobe Stock templates, which are very, very nice. And we have about 10 pages of these, so quite a few nice templates built into this new version of Premiere Elements, and again it's just drag and drop straight on to one of the blank video tracks. The next one is music. Several built-in music tracks under various headings, and again it's just a question of selecting one, and you can preview it by clicking, and then you can drag to the, and once you've previewed it you can drag it to Audio 2 or wherever you want it on your timeline. And finally we have lots of graphics, stickers and things which you can simply drag into your video. I want to place it above the video on the other track so that it appears when you play it, and you get something like that, as you can see. I think you get the idea. So let's look at the tools in the right hand panel. You need to have your clip selected for these to activate. We've already looked at the basic video and audio adjustments, and the tools panel gives us various options. The regular things like candid moments and color match are all drag and drop things, freeze frame. Now the color correction and color grading gives us this new Lumetri panel where we have some things called input LUTs, and these are basically for people who shoot in log, typically Canon log, Apple log, Fuji log, those sort of things, and the footage comes out of the camera looking almost pretty raw, and so these can provide you with a good starting point. Again, the familiar tools under the basic panel. Under the creative section we have more LUTs, and these are creative LUTs based on film types and particular LUTs, and it's just one click to apply these. As you can see, you get a particular look with these. Daylight Dream gives a much brighter look. So those are the built-in LUTs under the creative tab, and again we have these color wheels where you can drag around and get the highlight and shadow tints that you want and the balance between the two. And finally we have a curves panel where we can add points to this, and we can drag it up or down and make the, I mean, this is quite a powerful tool, and as well as adjusting the overall look, you can adjust individual colors like red, green, and blue. And again, we could put some more blue into this just to cool it down a little bit, as you can see. So that's the Lumetri Color Panel. The other panels are the applied effects, or the effects control as it's now called, and then we have actually a panel of drag and drop effects, and you can see all these fun thumbnails here. You just basically can select one and drag it onto your clips, and the transitions, and there they are. Don't know why it took me a little while to bring those up, but those are again, cross dissolve and all the usual things. I think there's actually more on the Windows platform than on the Mac. But if you wanted to make something into a default transition, just simply right click and set selected as default transition. Make sure you don't get the blue outline first. If you get the blue outline and try to right click, it won't work. You have to actually right click to get the blue line and the choice to set default transitions. So that's the advanced mode. The guided mode is now set up as a learning panel with tutorials, and also the ability to search for different subjects. So like if I select template, it brings up this particular tutorial on how to add titles with motion graphics. And then finally we have the quick panel. This is a basic scene line, as it's called. It's not called the timeline in the quick mode, and this is for basic trimming of videos and then exporting to social media or saving to your hard drive. So I hope you like this new version of Premiere Elements 2025. You can use it on a free trial basis, although Adobe is now only allowing 7 days for a free trial. So you may need to ensure that you get the full 7 days for Premiere Elements, and if you're also testing Photoshop Elements, maybe do that separately rather than concurrently. The 7 days is similar to the trial periods that Adobe's been using for all of their Creative Cloud apps. So these Elements programs or applications have just really been brought into line with that. I hope you have fun using the new version. I like it very much and find it very easy to use after the initial learning curve. I hope to make some more videos in the future, so please subscribe if you haven't already done so, and give us thumbs up for my videos. Thank you for watching, and bye-bye.